If you have a skid plate, you want to remove that first. There's 4 bolts underneath. Step 1, start the motorcycle and get it to operating temperature. Step 2, take a 13mm bolt and remove the oil drain plug. Remember, the engine oil and the gearbox oil are together. Make sure your container is below so that your engine oil will fall into the container. Next, you'll want to remove the other plug with the short oil screen and O-rings. You don't want to mess with these other screws as they are not a part of the oil draining system. Remove the short filter. O-rings might need to be replaced. Next, remove the oil plug with the long oil screens and O-rings. Use a 13mm socket. Now that all 3 oil plugs are removed, it's time to lean the bike on its side and get the rest of the oil out. You can see as I start to lean the bike sideways, more oil is draining out. Just make sure that your pan is underneath. Next, we're going to remove the oil filter cap. You can use a number 8mm wrench, or you can use a star, either one. Some really small needle nose pliers. How dirty that filter is. Important to remove the oil out of these holes, because if you put the screws back in and there's oil in there, you'll compress the oil, which won't compress, and you may split. I bought some new filters from Rocky Mountain MC. I'm gonna fill the new filter with about 1/3 full of engine oil. Tighten these bolts to about 7.4 foot-pounds of torque, which isn't very much. Time to put the filters back in. You can put the lower drain plug in first. Put in the next oil screen. This one can go either way. And last, put in the oil plug with the magnet. Make sure everything's nice and clean. And tighten everything to the manufacturer specs. Manufacturer does recommend putting a new crush washer on the oil drain bolt. Inspect your O-rings on the other drain bolts to make sure the O-rings are good, and also on the oil filter. Unscrew the cap, engine oil / clutch oil. You can see the clutch plates right there. Fill it with about 1.2 quarts of oil. You can use Rotella T5 or the full synthetic T6. With the engine cold, level the bike, and the engine oil level should be about halfway. Once we start it up and run it, then it should be the upper end of that red circle. Thanks for watching. Remember, like and subscribe. Hope you learned something new.